Hey friends, Miss Lynn from the Action Arts and Science program at the Washington Pavilion, and we've got another letter activity today. We're going to do something again with our name, and it's going to be inspired by the painter Jasper. He's an American painter who is kind of in that pop art category, a little bit abstract, and we've done some pop art before. We did the Tiny Foods a few weeks ago. And so I've got some images or some pictures of some of his artwork that I'm going to show you here right now. And you'll be able to see that as well when you're doing the activity. We're going to modify it a little bit because originally we were going to do the whole alphabet like Jasper Johns did. And when I tried to make my example, it took a long time. And so then I decided we would just do our names. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. It's going to be very simple. You're going to get a piece of white paper, just like this. It's already pre-cut, so you don't have to do anything with that. And then there are stencils that have all the letters of the alphabet. And so you will be able to just trace the letters of your name on the paper. Now, you might think, what if I have a really long name and it doesn't fit on the paper? Then we are just going to tape two of them together. So you make it as long as you need to fit all the letters in your name. So I'm going to show you mine here real quick, or show you how to make one using my name. I'm going to draw the edge of the template or the pattern. Make sure I spell my name right. That would be kind of embarrassing. One more. We're going to trace with crayon, because then when we paint with the watercolor, the crayon will still show up. So I'm ready to paint. Now, for my kindergarten, first grade friends, I'm going to send also some papers that already have the lines drawn on them. And if you need to, you can just write the letters of your name inside each square rather than tracing. Okay, so you have a couple options if you're one of my younger friends. So now I'm just going to use my watercolors to paint. And Jasper Johns didn't paint in the lines. It's kind of very abstract. And so I'm going to choose, I did green and blues and yellows for my first example, but I'm going to try maybe some warm colors. So I'm going to do some yellows, and I'm just going to paint over. You don't need a whole lot of paint, and you don't need a whole lot of water. We don't want our paper all soggy. I had too much water on mine in this first one, and that's why the edges are all crinkly. I'm going to add some red. I'm just going to blend that in. I'll hopefully make some orange on this where the two colors match up. Maybe get a little more water. Do a little bit on this side, so I'm getting some orange in there. Okay, this one, I might go like this. And make just some, make this a little more diagonal. Down a little bit. And maybe really get some orange. So you can paint this any way you want. If you're one of my friends, like when I paint and do art, I like to stay in the lines. I like it to be perfect. I like it to look the way it's supposed to. And as I've gotten older, I've had to kind of let that go and enjoy the process more, enjoy making the art more, and not worrying about if it looks right. Because really in art, you're creating this for you. And so you need to be able to enjoy what you're making and like what you're making and not worry about if it's perfect. So if you're somebody who doesn't like abstract, doesn't like when it doesn't stay in the lines, I encourage you just to try it, okay? It may make you a little uncomfortable. It may bother you that things aren't in the right space or imperfectly in the lines. But I want you just to give it a try, because I have found that it's really just fun just to play with it. And if it doesn't look the way it's supposed to, that's okay. I'm just going to do one more here. Won't do the whole thing, but yeah, it's fun to see how the colors mix. So I would continue, and then since I have some space on the end of my name, I would cut that off, okay? So in the end, then you'll have something like this that's inspired by Jasper Johns, but it's your name. Now I have a book that I'm going to send. It's called The Name Jar. It's kind of a long book, and so I'm going to let your teacher decide if she wants to read it, he or she wants to read it at the beginning or at the end, or not at all, because you may not have time. But I liked this story because it's about a girl who has an unusual name. She's from another country. Her name is hard to pronounce. And in the story, her classmates decide that she should have a different name. And so they put all these ideas in this jar of what her name should be. And it's an interesting ending. And I liked how everybody's name is unique, and we have to celebrate that and enjoy that and not try to change people and their names. But it's an interesting ending. So if you have time to read it, great. I'm not going to ask you to read it at the beginning if you don't have time, but it's just a nice book that I wanted to share with you. So send me some pictures of your Jasper Johns inspired names so I can see what you've done.